maintaining contact with a foreign agent, and the commission of tax fraud. Israel inflicted massive and unprecedented harm to Palestinian civilians during last summer's conflict in Gaza. That's the finding of a 237-page report by the Israeli Breaking the Silence advocacy group of former IDF soldiers. The report cites anonymous testimony from 60 veterans of Operation Protective Edge, some of whom described indiscriminate firing, and others who say that their commanders often took decisions on their own accord. The Army is adamant that all efforts were taken to prevent non-combat casualties, while Hamas has been documented using civilians as human shields. The Breaking the Silence report suggests that the IDF sought to minimize the risk to Israeli troops, even if that meant harming civilians. Even though the organization has steadfastly refused to provide proof of any of its claims, it is now calling for an external probe of the 50-day operation.
There was something called an artillery softening, which basically meant that the artillery corps fired thousands of shells into densely populated neighborhoods as an attempt to prepare those neighborhoods for the entrance of the soldiers. The idea was that once we dropped pamphlets, that's what the soldiers told us, once we dropped pamphlets warning the civilians there that they have to escape, then from that point on, there was no need to distinguish between civilians and militants.
The Army, meanwhile, insists that the methodology and motivations behind the report are flawed. Other critics include the student Zionist Tirtzu organization that is accusing Breaking the Silence of having accepted funding from a Palestinian group in Ramallah with terrorist connections, and that it has also been documented receiving additional financial support from several European governments. Tirtzu goes on to claim that Breaking the Silence is operated by foreign elements hostile to Israel, and is calling on the Attorney General and security services to take action to prevent these parties from acting against the interests of the IDF and the state. Former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert